Hi Gail. I thought the best way to give you an idea of the progress we're making with the LMP content type was to actually walk you through it. So here's a quick walkthrough and then you can try it yourself. So I'm logged in right now as a test member and then I navigated over to the Learn tab. Now I'm going to go over to the project and profiles. So the main update is that we have the core LMP content type working and functioning with the page flows and the ability to save and the relationship between the project and the profile is now in place. We still have work to do to kind of apply a final design layer over the top. So you'll still see some kind of underlying clone icons and stuff showing through and folders. And so we still have some work ahead of us, but the good news is that it is possible to create, from beginning to end and walk through the intake form. So I'm going to go over to the projects and profiles area. I'm doing this a little bit later at night, so for whatever reason it seems to be a little sluggish. So once I get over to the folder, so these are some of the things that we still need to apply some design to remove these from what the member sees. But as you'll look here, I've got the projects and then some of our test projects in here. But I'm just going to go ahead and say add new. So yes, we're going to have to label these and put a design over it, but I just want to show you that the core functionality is working. So I'm going to ask to add a project. Once again, these two fields will kind of show you that there's two pages to be filled out, but we can hide these names. So it asked me for a project name, and I'm going to put in solar energy renewal. And then it's going to say, are you setting up a project for multiple parties? In this case, I'm going to say no, and then I'm going to say next. Now, if I said yes, then it's going to ask me those two more questions about how many and who they are. So now that I've said yes, then we're going to have to change this language a little bit. But it's basically, we land on this page and we basically tell the person to save their project profile and then to go ahead and actually create their specific profile. So I create the profile, and you can now see that all the major pages are now laid out with each of the questions. So I'm going to say solar. Oh, my company is Acme nonprofit. Brat Wangman Chief. Now I'll move pretty quickly here because I don't necessarily think you want to see me fill out fake information, although maybe that is interesting. But project summary, outcome, outcome. And then as I keep moving down, then it's going to ask me to do tags, and so I'm going to put a couple tags, and then I'll put a couple more. Then it'll ask me to put the founder's name. What type am I? I'm the lead. I'm going to put in how much this is for. Then I could also fill out the dates. I think you've obviously seen this, so once again, I don't want to go too long here, but just keep showing you, filling in these values. What areas am I concentrating on? Actually, I'm just concentrating on Illinois. And then this is where the first decision tree comes in. So I'm going to do these first three working groups, and then I'm going to hit next. And then for the working group focus page, it is only going to show me those three that I chose. So the clean energy, the coal, and the energy efficiency. So I'm going to click a couple more of those. Right now, the main thing that you will see is not part of the design is the help text. So we're still trying to figure out an elegant way. As we talked about before, the Plone content type has by default, a field and a description, but this third requirement of this help field, we're going to have to put in a custom design layer over the top of here to get that help text in. So we need to talk about that a little bit. I'm going to hit next here after I've now clicked on what my focus areas are. Key tracking, figures, factors I should say, factors, work. Then when I get down to planned activities, once again we have that same thing where I'll make a decision tree here. I'll pick 3 of them, I'll hit next, and then it won't show, it'll only show me those. And then we've kind of put some temporary placeholders in here, so based on which ones you've picked, we're going to put a label in here for targets. And then as you go down the field, another one for allies, because alliances, because that's what I picked. And then a third one for messaging and communication. So we've got all of these questions in here. And we've broken out this alliance question such that I would put the name of the specific alliance and then I would rate it. So I'm not going to fill out this whole thing, but you can kind of see that if I did in fact choose to go back, I could go back in the process. This time I might want to say I'm going to pick a different set of these, hit next, and once again you'll now see that the questions that are asked are now changed. It's only doing the grassroots mobilizations and the messaging and communications and the research and analyst. So it certainly does work. The logic does work to show me only those questions that I need to be asked, and then it brings me to the final 2 questions. So I'm going to put challenge and I'm going to put other, and then I'm going to hit save. So as you can see, we have the core kind of process in place here to move you from setting up the original project to then setting up a profile underneath. But we still have a fair amount of design work to do to be able to mask some of the Plone default fields that you see, or to pretty them up. So that's a quick 7.5-minute overview, but hopefully we'll be able to get on the phone tomorrow and talk to you about some specific choices that we need to make. Thanks, and hope you enjoyed this.